What's good? Oh my God.
Oh.
Why did I know you was going to do that? What's good, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Free Game, where the only thing that we do on this channel is what? Skibbity bop 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 bop. Keep it a stat, and I got my own brother here with me, Joshua Anthony Bennafield. Oh my God, government name.
Government is, come on,
out
man.
on the record.
It's too hot. We'll cut that.
We won't. I got my boy Josh out here. We're gonna talk to the people, man.
What's going on, folks?
What's up?
Josh, J.A.B, you know what's going on. Come to show love to my boy podcast.
Love that.
Got some great combo for y'all today.
For sure.
Make sure you like, share, tell your mom, your dad, your friends.
Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat,
Only
Twitter.
more good content on the way, so
That's
we
it.
excited.
That's all it is to it. All right, brother, without further ado, let's get into it. The first question that I got for you is, how is J.A.B going? Oh, my God. This is about to be funny. How is J.A.B going, though? Let's start there.
J.A.B, for those that don't know,
Yeah.
I am a photographer. I do photography and videography on the side, and my company is called J.A.B Productions. So the J.A.B stands for Joshua Anthony Bennafield. Kicked it off probably about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now. And it's been a journey for sure. And I guess to kind of answer your question right now, it's going, and so I have a passion for it. I have a passion for photography, videography, and I do love it a lot.
Okay.
But just kind of moving out here has been a transition period in general, and I haven't really been able to kind of find my grounding as I would want to. And I still have a lot of good ideas and things that I'm working on, kind of seeing in fruition, and I'm starting to just get back into it, doing a few little birthday shoots here and there, going to record a comedy shows coming up, and so starting to kind of slowly get back into the groove. But yeah, I mean, it's still love it a lot. It's always fun doing it. Just kind of got to be a little bit more disciplined and really making sure that I continue to work and tap into it.
For sure. So let me ask, what made you get into photography, videography? Is it just photography that you specialize in? Are you trying to branch out to the videography too? What does that look like? Is it a combination of both? What is the passion or the reasoning that really inspired you to go down that field?
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch the song. I don't like this song.
Play some Rollo.
Can't do that.
Rollo Rodriguez is the best rapper right now.
It's Raw Wave.
Quote me.
He's not even a rapper.
It's
Really
okay.
the best artist of all time. Shout out to MJ on the side. Later, second.
MJ is crazy. But, I mean, just kind of like, I've always loved the arts, right? So I grew up drawing, grew up painting, grew up doing a lot of different things, and that was just natural. I loved it.
Okay.
It just took a lot of time. And I think naturally kind of as I got to college and things just didn't line up. And I thought I wanted to go somewhere else and do something different.
Okay. You said things did or things didn't line up?
Didn't really line up, just in terms of timing. Like, if you've ever done a painting or something like that, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of hours. And so I think I didn't really have the discipline enough at the time to really sit down for hours on hours, weeks on weeks to really finish. And I did love it. I love the finished product. I love the process about it. But it just took a lot of time, and I thought I kind of wanted to go somewhere different. But I did have a camera in high school that I would bring around here and there and just take pictures of my friends.
Oh my God. Nah, I get it though.
Just taking pictures of my friends. Yeah, just for fun. Very, very much for fun.
Okay.
And then college comes around and kind of end up getting just back into it. Took a few pictures for like this fashion vlog, University Fits, and from there it was like, did a few graduation photos and things like that, and it kind of took off from there. But I think the two biggest things that kind of keep me engaged is one is it's just a creative outlet for me, and has always been, and I think that's a part of me that I always need to feed is that creative aspect. So at first it was drawing. I tried to DJ for a little bit.
Right.
You saw how that went.
But the DJing wasn't for you though.
You feel me?
It was cool, but yeah.
And now it's kind of more on the photography side, videography side. So it's a creative outlet. And one, I get to be around a lot of people. Like somebody different that I get to talk to, engage with every shoot. And it's fun. Like it's just dynamic. It kind of keeps me engaged. I think I get energy from people. So that kind of is something that keeps me there. And I think that's kind of what's really got me into it and kind of keeping me moving, I think, within it. So,
no, for sure. I love that. And you brought up University Fits. For the people who didn't go to UGA or don't know what University Fits is, can you explain a little bit to them, like what University Fits is, what that looks like, what was the purpose of that?
And so, the biggest thing about, I think, so University Fits is a fashion vlog, essentially, where people who wear certain clothes and things were getting highlighted on campus. And actually, University Fits is still a thing. So, if you're on campus,
you Fits.
Or plan on going to the University of Georgia, UFits is still a thing. They're doing a great job of keeping it alive, have a lot of different aspects and things like that. So definitely tap in. But it's really just a platform to appreciate the clothing, honestly, of minority students at the university. And I think for me, all of my family went to a HBCU. And so fashion and that culture is very big at those schools. It's big in the African American community and minority community in general. But I think it was just something that they have Fits page for a lot of HBCUs across the country, and so it was just like, okay, maybe let's bring this and let's see what this looks like, and just making sure that the black and the culture and our culture was still being celebrated where we weren't as much represented. Right, it's only 8% of us for real, so it was just something to kind of promote and make sure that we're still celebrating what we do and what we love. So. Yeah, I mean, it took off. It was getting a lot of good traction, and it's continuing to do well. And so it's kind of been revamped. And shout out to the people who are running it on campus. But yeah,
for sure. Shout out to the people who's running it on campus.
Was you ever on there on the page?
Y'all didn't put me on there. I actually a couple of times was throwing a fit. Ready to go to Tate. Don't think I was seen. It is what it is. Can't catch every dripper, I suppose. It's all right. Some of the fits that I saw in there,
Nah,
yeah, you ain't gotta get into it though. I definitely dropped drip, so that's all right though.
That's so nice.
So my next question, Josh, is going back to the photography and the videography. I know that there was a big time period, a certain time period where it was really taking off in college. Like life was good, huh? No, but it was really taking off. Bookings were the demand was higher than the supply at some point, and you were still in school. You were still a student leader, still managing your classes, your organizations, job search. So like with your photography taking off at the same time, I guess my first question is, how was that managing, trying to have a small startup, a small business, and being an entrepreneur while still being in school? That's the first part of the question. And then the second part is, for those people who want to do the same thing, what are things that you noticed that you wish you would have known, or challenges or obstacles that came up along your pathway?
Yeah. That's a great question.
Thanks, man.
I think, and I know you can attest to this, I mean, just in your own experiences, but it definitely got tough a lot doing a lot of things on campus. Like, I know we both did a lot of things on campus, having to balance those things on a day-to-day. I will say, just naturally and just being 100, senior year was kind of cruise control, honestly. Especially second semester, not as many hours. Once had a job and kind of figured that out, things were just a little bit less stressful. So I genuinely had a lot more time to kind of invest into photography.
Okay.
But I honestly don't think I did the best job of really balancing. I think I would stress myself out a lot, whether that was overbooking or... Because again, that was my first, this is my first real... I've had a lot of entrepreneurial ideas and stuff, but this was my first time where it was really taking off. Had to really have a website with booking, right?
You did have
different things, having to work with clientele, applying for grants and things like that. It
different
was really
target audiences too. Different. It wasn't even just black people.
Yeah.
It was different fraternities, different sororities, different party organizations, different groups. Just very versatile in what you was doing.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
I did. I mean, it was a blast being able to. I think I started to kind of hone in when I first started, it was like, I kind of do whatever. I think after a certain time, I kind of started to hone in on what I really enjoyed, and that was really more so like events and the things where I was a part of what was going on, right? Portraits, you're outside, and don't get me wrong, I do enjoy portrait photography a lot, but I like at the events kind of getting those candid moments where people are just naturally in their state, right?
Being themselves.
If you're knowing that you're about to take pictures, you're going to look different, you're going to do things differently versus you just being you in whatever place that you was being in. And I like being able to capture those moments and giving somebody a photo of like, damn, I didn't know you got that. Oh yeah, I did, and now it's their profile pic. Or now I see them using it. It just feels good. But going back to just kind of that first question, I think it was, so with that, it being my first thing, it was just I was learning a lot. So not only was I learning in school, but I was also trying to learn how to balance this. And being a senior, naturally, whatever I was doing, I was thinking about what that would look like in the future.
Right.
And so I was trying to figure out and really invest that time into figuring out, like, can I do this moving forward? What do I need to do to moving forward? And it was just naturally kind of hard to balance at times. But
what advice do you have for the people who are trying to do that now?
Yeah. I would say, I mean, one, you got to commit to something. And I think that's very, very important. I think people have ideas all the time. And I know, like, being an entrepreneur is the culture nowadays. Like, everybody wants to have an idea. Like, that's a stigma, but you have to really, really hone in and take that step to actually commit. I think that's the first step. And scheduling and organization is probably the second biggest thing. Like, I was never a person that would, beyond classes and meetings, I wasn't locking in my day-to-day of, like, what I was doing every hour, what I needed to be doing, a to-do list every day of things to be taken care of. If I forgot it, I forgot it. If I remembered, I remembered. That's not a good place to start because you have organization, you got classes, you have a lot of things that you have to finish. Like, entrepreneurship is great. I was still trying to get my degree. I still had to serve in the roles that I needed to serve in for those organizations. And I think when people are trying to balance that, they have to remember, like, you can't overcommit yourself or you can't overextend yourself to things. But a lot of that overextension just comes with how you balance and schedule out the time that you have. Like, a lot of times when I felt overwhelmed or felt like I was doing too much, I just wasn't scheduling and planning my days out right or really using my time effectively too. So it really wasn't I was doing...
optimizing your time.
Right, and it wasn't like I was doing too much. It was just more so the fact that I wasn't using my time effectively. Like, there's people I know that are doing great and successful, doing 100 things a day, but they know how to use their time. And so it's not viewed as being overextended or doing too much. It's just, I'm managing what I got going on.
Managing what I got going on. And for those who don't know, it's called a box system. So, not to get off topic, but it's called a box system. Look that up when you can. It definitely helps you manage your time. I use it 100%. And for sure, and you basically write down everything that you want to do in life, right? You write down your hobbies, you write down your job, you write down if you want to go to the gym, you write down what you want to do, and you figure out what time frame, what time are you waking up. If you wake up at 8 a.m., okay, cool, you're going to go to the gym from 8 to 10 a.m., cool, you work from 10 to 5, cool, after the gym, what are you going to do? And then you adjust it and you tweak it and you try that system until the system works for you and for everything else that you have going on. So it's actually very beneficial. So look that up. It's called a box system.
Is that something that you've been, I guess, using for? How has your process or journey been using a box?
Since I've been using it, it's been really, really good. And honestly, I wish that I would have used it more when I was in college, when I was DJing, or when I was involved in my organizations, because once you put it in a time frame and in a system, it'll tell you, based off of writing stuff down, what you have time for and what you don't. It really will, and then it'll make you decide what is more important to you, because you can't do everything. Like, that's just not possible. So it'll make you decide what's more important to you. My next question to you, Josh, is what does a photographer and or a videographer need the basic essentials to get started, to take off? Someone who is really trying to get into this career field, this path, what do they need as the starter path?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's really a starter pack. It's more so just a starter item. You just need a camera.
Just the camera.
And honestly, and it doesn't have to be an external camera. Almost everybody I know has a phone.
Right.
Start with the phone.
Android?
Uh-oh.
Man. Okay, so iPhone people.
But just genuinely, like, it's photography at its core is just photography. It's just taking a picture, right? And you have the other elements, the professional cameras, the extra equipment and things like that. But I think to really start, it's really just getting out there. Whether you do have the opportunity to get an actual camera, if you don't have those means, go out with the phone, right? Start recording videos. Like, there's a dude named Cole Bennett. He's one of the most famous, really, videographers, honestly. He does a lot of music videos and things like that. Dirt, Yachty, a lot of the list goes on. Just for the people that he's done and he's shot. And he's done some of his most recent works and projects on an iPhone. Like, if you go and look at Lil Yachty's past 2-3 videos, they were shot on an iPhone and and there's different editing and different techniques, but I think he's just showing, like, you can work and create and craft with the simplest
You need to get started,
right?
And have a passion for what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think once you really, and I would just say, take pictures everywhere, whether that's of people, whether that's of landscapes, whether that's of event, like whatever it is, because you want to start to learn what your eye is, what you like to shoot, and what you just naturally have a good eye for. Like,
what you have a good eye for.
I think that'll kind of go into the work that you try to do. Like, you might like to shoot something, but you also might have a great eye for another aspect that you want to kind of tap into as well. Like, you might just be able to do great studio shoots and come up with really creative ideas to really maximize that created lighting, or you really do good in landscape.
Right.
And you really find good angles of a mountain that people want to use in their house, or they want to make that a wallpaper. So really just bringing out, having any type of camera, videos, or pictures, and just starting taking them. Like, being intentional with that, take them to events, when you go travel, if you're asked, whatever that might be, and just start practicing, honestly, and you'll start to figure out where you want to go and what you want to shoot.
Great response. I love that. 10 out of 10. 12 out of 10. My next question is,
I don't know if y'all can hear the music in the back, but
now they can. I'm like the listener with the headphones on. I'm okay with that. I know other entrepreneurs are going to be able to relate to this question that I'm about to ask you. They might not be able to relate from a photographer. They might not be able to relate from a photographer sense or a videographer sense, but as an entrepreneur, was it stressful, or how stressful was it when people that you were very close with expected discounts or deals or had expectations of what that looked like? Because everyone says that it's not the best idea or it's not the easiest idea to mix friends with business. Just because business is business and friendship is friendship. But what does that look like for your life, or how did that look like for your life? Yeah. Because you knew a lot of people on campus.
Right.
And you're a cool guy, so you were cool with a lot of people on campus. So maybe that translated, people automatically assumed A, B, C, D, E, F, and G.
Right.
Was that a challenging process? Fairly simple, easy?
Yeah.
People maybe didn't expect? What does that look like?
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know if it was super, super challenging. Okay. I think it kind of just depends on how you were approached by the other person or whoever was coming for the service or the business. I think it can get kind of sticky at times, but I also think too, like, people who understand the time and the work that goes into certain things just naturally will want to support in the ways that they can. And so I didn't really run into many, or if any, really, where it was like people coming up to me saying like I offered it or had those times where I would kind of go and understand whether it was just support or whatever. I just felt like it's okay. Like I'll do this for free. I'll do this at a discount. But I didn't have a lot of people come up to me and initially be like, "Hey,
proactively,
right? Can you shoot me for free, or can I get this discount rate or things like that?" But I think it gets tough naturally for entrepreneurs in general because, like, especially around the people that I grew up with, you just naturally want to, once you're doing something well or doing something, you want to be able to offer that or be able to provide that for the people around you. Or when you're doing successful, you want to be able to help and bring others around you with you. Like, and so I think it might be like, well, if I can do this, then I'm not going to trip if you've been around for this, or we just have that type of relationship, because you've seen that journey, or you've seen how things kind of come into fruition. And if you're have a really close relationship with somebody, I feel like it at times, I think, and I feel like other entrepreneurs might be able to attest, but just like if I eat, you eat type deal. Or like if I am doing well, you do well. Or if I have something, like I want to share this with you regardless. But I don't know if it was really, really that much of a challenge, because I think just naturally people respected that it was a business. And it did, I will say it did take me a minute to get there, because I was shooting for free for a while before I started charging. But I think that was naturally just like building my portfolio,
right,
and trying to understand, like, do I really have what it takes to actually start charging people, and making sure that my product was good enough before I started putting a price tag on it. And so don't get me wrong, I shot for free for a long time and still do from time to time. But I think once I kind of established myself, and people would also, once you kind of put it in there and really commit and really show like, this is what I'm doing, and monetize that and properly market it as you're monetizing whatever that might be. Monetize your passions, you feel me?
Monetize your passion.
I'm telling you. I feel like naturally people will start to respect that and understand that, and will just approach it differently or approach you differently. So, yeah.
Know your worth. Know what you have to offer, but don't try to BS people either, though.
No.
Don't try to finesse and BS people either, because people can look at your quality for sure.
Yeah.
And determine to them, and it is subjective and by perspective, but if it's worth it to society's perspective too. So I think that's a really big point.
When you were DJing, did you ever have to go through that of people kind of like asking you to do a party for free or for discounted?
I think it was weird, because I don't know if anyone ever came up to me and said, "Hey, will you DJ my party for free?" or "Hey, come and DJ for free," or "Can you do this for the brotherhood?" But I think it was said, but in a different format or in a different way. It was just more so like, "Hey, can you DJ for my birthday?"
But and not talking prices or nothing.
Yeah.
Okay,
and the communication was very, very general. So me being me, I was like, yeah, for sure, I got you, cool. And I wouldn't ask for money afterwards, because I was cool with the person, I did love with the person. But I was hoping / did expect at the end of that, they were like, here's $50 or here's $60 for doing
the
it.
service, facts.
Just like off the principle, off the respect. But there was a lot of times where that didn't happen though, and I didn't press the issue or I didn't ask. It was just kind of like a damn type of thing. Because DJing is like, that's 4 hours.
It's a long time.
And unless you're a DJ, like, people don't really look at it like that.
Yeah.
But 4 hours is a long
you gotta create
part
the
of your
vibes
day. You know what I'm saying?
time,
Like, it's kind of long. So Even
Fact.
DJing
That's a
4
fact.
hours for $50 is
It's
genuinely
crazy.
insane.
That's crazy.
Even doing it for $50
Yeah.
is insane. But I did go through that at the time. I wasn't as vocal and as confrontational about getting
Yeah.
the money, because at the end of the day, it's all love, and I always
Yeah.
feel like things happen the way that they're supposed to and come back for sure.
Yeah.
You learn something through every experience. But yeah,
Yeah.
I did go through that. Other times, people did. If they didn't give me money, they would buy me drinks.
Okay. Facts,
They would buy me
facts,
drinks
facts,
or like
on
make
other
sure that I'm good
ways.
in other ways. Yeah, if it
Yeah.
wasn't money wise, it was always like in a different form of
Yeah.
compensation or something like that. So,
Yeah. And I think too, it also like, I'm just thinking about it. It would have been a lot different for us if we needed the money to live or to like. And I think that's where we were in college. We still were taking classes. We still had a
It was a
trajectory,
side hustle.
whether the side hustle went or not. Like if the photography didn't win, I still would have graduated. I still would have found the jobs. Like I still would have had something going on. I feel like so because I didn't need the money.
right.
At all times. Sometimes it'd be like, oh, okay, it's okay.
Right.
And I know times when I did kind of need a little bit more,
Right.
it would be more just subconsciously of me thinking about, okay, let me see how I can make some income or see how I can do that. But if it really just is a side hustle and you don't need the extra funds, I feel like it gives a little bit more flexibility of really being able to do things for free for people or at a discounted rate or stuff like that. So.
No, I agree completely. Those are two different subjects, whether that's like your full-time job versus it being something that you're doing in undergrad. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
How much money did you make? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm just playing.
Number solid.
What resources can you give to upcoming photographers or videographers that are trying to promote their portfolio? Whether that's them being in college or them being outside of college, like, yeah, they need to take photos and just take photos, but like, okay, now after I'm done taking photos, like, where do I market my photos? What do I do? What does that look like? Like, how can I get my likeness and my brand and my image out there?
I think,
What are some steps that I can take?
yeah. I think three big things that come to my head that I kind of think about is one, leveraging social media, right? Instagram, TikTok. Honestly, those are going to be your two best bets. But
I agree.
social media is becoming the number one marketing platform, if not already the number one marketing platform in the world.
Agreed.
Really use that, but get dynamic and be creative with how you promote. Like, don't just post a picture, maybe do a reel, or maybe add a little story behind it. You have to add some dynamicness to what you're posting, but you can do so many different things on social media now. Business tools, analytics that literally give you logistics on how you can promote.
So you gotta
who
want
to
it.
promote to. Gotta who?
You gotta want it.
Yeah. Want it.
Want it. Like, you have to want
once
oh my
it's
God.
want to promote it. Oh
Yeah, like you have
Oh,
to,
you gotta
like,
want it. Yeah.
You gotta want it.
Yeah. Yeah, Instagram is a big, I mean, Instagram, TikTok, really big. I don't even use those as much as I should be. I'm trying to tap into TikTok right now and seeing what that looks like. But that's one thing. I think secondly is using your friends as models for whatever market that you want to get into. So if you want to really do portraits and outside portraits, go shoot your friends and be creative with the shoots. Like, hey, can you do this? Have this look. Hey, let's try out this outfit. Or if you want to do a studio shoots, get some studio time. Invite 2 or 3 of your friends and go in the studio and shoot them and figure out what you like to do, figure out what you want to do, and you use those photos to get there, right? If you see a picture on Instagram of a shoot that you really like and you're like, hey, I kind of want to try this out, use the people around you that you know will come and do the shoot. right? And just be like, hey, if you got some people love pictures, people want pictures,
They do.
just naturally. So it's nothing to ask somebody like, hey, can you want to do this shoot? And you really use your friends and use the people. Use is a weird term, but you're having them be your models and things like that, and they're right there with you. Yeah, use.
Ain't nothing wrong with
Yeah.
use though.
Yeah.
It seems
negative, wordy, but yeah,
but it's
right.
not though. It doesn't
not.
have to be.
Right.
It doesn't have to be. It
Right.
doesn't have to be at all.
And then lastly, when you're taking your photos around and when you're taking your pictures around, when you're taking it everywhere, especially in public places with a lot of people. So if you're going to events and things like that, that's really when you're really going out there and marketing yourself. Like, hey, I'm a good photographer. Let me take a picture of you. Or if you just have your camera around, people are going to be like, hey, can you take a picture? That is some of the best marketing that you can do to really get yourself out there. Because not only are you connecting with them and you're getting them pictures later on, they're going to reach back out and be like, hey, if they really like the pictures that you took, hey, I got this event going on. Or I got this going on or something like that. You start to get followers for your page because people are coming to the page to get the pictures, right? There's just a lot of little things that go into that quickly start to build your network, build your platform. I mean, like the first big event I did on campus, I probably got a couple hundred followers just off of the principle that I was taking pictures of so many people and they wanted the pictures. Nothing extra, just the simple fact that they were coming back for the pictures what allowed me to build that network, and then it transpired into, hey, we got this going on. Can you come shoot this, or let's do this, or do that? So it's just a chain, but you just gotta be boots on the ground and really going out there and taking the photos.
That's an interesting phrase.
Yeah, boots on the ground. I mean that, like go to work.
Is that an Atlanta thing?
Nah. Shout out Atlanta.
Shout out Covington.
Yikes. City of violence? Or
yeah, City of Violence. It's Covington, Georgia. No, sir. Newland County. New code.
Stop it, please.
We actually don't say new code. But we should start.
Y'all shouldn't.
Like G code.
No, that's not y'all.
New code. Yeah.
It gotta have the ton in there.
Nah, but new code. Can anyone be a photographer?
Yeah, I can't count.
You think so?
Yeah. You just gotta know your market. Cause I feel like
that's interesting.
You might take different pictures that a lot of people might be like, you don't really have the skill, but then you'll find somebody that's like, I love the way you take pictures. Come take these pictures, and then that'll be that market of okay, other people like it. So I don't know. I think everybody is naturally a photographer.
It's just your perspective.
Just your perspective. Like
That's
you can take pictures on your iPhone and post those in a photo dump. You're technically a photographer.
So some people's perspective is just highly sought out than other people's perspective at that point. Like the quote unquote famous photographers, or oh my God, they caught this. It's not necessarily that they're a better photographer. Their perspective is just
right. Because there's a bunch of people that could be like, shit, everybody could say they're a DJ.
Correct.
Or if you play, I mean, technically, if you play music, and once you get into
my
different,
craft is a little more.
I respect it.
No,
I respect it. But it's like maybe in certain occupations, everybody can't be it. Like everybody's not a doctor.
Correct.
Or not,
no, correct.
Yeah, everybody's not a doctor. Everybody's not a doctor, right?
I'm with you. Everybody's not a doctor.
But it's certain things I feel like
everyone,
especially in the arts, everybody could be.
Everybody could be
a
basketball player.
Right.
Shoot a ball.
Everybody is a basketball. Or anybody who plays shoot a ball.
But everybody can't be a doctor.
Right.
Everybody can't be a lawyer.
Right.
Everybody can be a photographer.
I think so.
Phone snap, click.
Phone snap.
Cool. What are some common things? Are the gummy worms good?
That's solid. They're definitely they're not as super chewy.
Oh God. This is not good. I bought these for him because he likes these, but I didn't get the right ones. Thought I was doing a good deed.
I appreciate it.
Oh.
My God.
Delicious. What are some common things that you noticed in upcoming photographers who have either reached out to you, or maybe some photographers that who haven't reached out, but you saw them try to penetrate the market that might have taken off that like they wanted to? What are some common errors that you've seen or noticed or recognized?
It's a great question. I think, and I have a good bit of kind of personal experiences with this. But yeah, what? I mean, you
Thanks. Thanks, man.
I think naturally, like when people look up to somebody, I think it's very, very easy to get into a habit of trying to do what they're doing or recreate what they're doing. And I think at times, like people who have reached out to me, or this actually like so I think it
Free game.
free game.
Give it to
I
me.
just think it has to be like, one, I was making a good bit of money for a college student as a side
much?
hustle.
I'm not gonna tell
Not
them.
important. That's okay. Off camera. But with that,
It
people,
established your credibility.
it might. I was making a meal. I made a meal.
So he's not being serious, y'all. All right, back to the statement.
But like, just make sure that you're going into it with the right reasons, and really making sure that you have that passion, or you might not even have the passion at up top, but at least try to understand why you want to shoot, what you want to shoot, and really just attempt to shoot or attempt to be a photographer or attempt to create for the purpose of creating, and seeing if that's something you enjoy or creating. For the purpose of creating. I think I've talked to a few people and seen a few people and had very like directed comments about like, hey, I'm trying to make some more money. Can you teach me how to be a photographer? Can you teach me what you did? Versus like, hey, I'm just interested in photography.
When they're not really.
When they're not really. And I think it's so making sure that, I think especially for that, like you have to know what you want to shoot and kind of have an idea maybe, or at least really attempt it. But again, if you're going into it for monetary reasons, it's going to quickly, it's not going to go to where you think it's going to go, because your drive and your commitment is not, it's just different. Granted, which I will say, and I think this is something that I can't really speak on as much, and I know we kind of alluded to it before, but I didn't need the money to continue my livelihood. There's some people that I know that are possibly some of the best photographers out there, might have went into it just for the money, or just for this certain aspect, or just for clout, or just for the network, or whatever that might be. And if that is your main drive and that's your main motivation, then by all means, right, use that, push that. Like, I can't speak on what is your motivation, what's your passion, because there's people that have grown up in situations where money they just view things differently. Like, I've had the luxury and been blessed enough to have an opportunity to kind of explore passions, not having to be backed by money. But I know a lot of people don't have that luxury. So really just figuring out what your motivation is, right? If it's a passion for that photography, it's a great start. That's a great point to start, because you want to continue to do it, whether that's going well or not. And say it's something different, that's just a point for you to understand. But really just take some time to understand it, and don't just do it because you see somebody else being successful at it. Because everybody's not going to be successful at whatever they might be trying.
I agree, don't copy and paste.
Right.
Everybody has a different passion, different destiny, different heart for stuff.
Yeah. And one more thing, if you...
God, Lee! No, I'm playing.
My bad.
I'm playing. Nah, I want them to hear it for sure.
But even like specifically, and I think my last answer was a little bit more just kind of directed to people trying to get into entrepreneurial spaces in general, but photography specifically, if you are, when it comes to, like we said earlier before, like Chris said before, not copy and pasting, you want to have something about your own style, about the pictures that you take.
That makes you different.
That makes you different. How you edit, what certain aspects you like to use.
I think
like,
that's so real with entrepreneurship and or content creation, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with benchmarking and looking up to people who you inspire to be similar to, because it's like a path that they created, something that sparked. But I don't think people genuinely understand that if you're trying to replicate someone's personality or somebody in life or the way that they do something the exact same way because they got famous off of it, you're literally not going to get famous or blow as much as they did because it's already out there. They don't want two of the same. Please, they don't want two. Throw that instrumental on, everybody. They don't want two of the same people because they've already experienced that new, that different. And I feel like a lot of people make that error. If I do exactly what they do, I'm going to blow exactly like they did. Maybe if you did it before them, yes. But now that we have that, we need something new.
Right.
So you got to be able to put your own twist, your own natural pizzazz on what that looks like.
Facts.
I just wanted to hone in on that point because I noticed that a lot.
Yeah.
People ask for advice and there's nothing wrong with that, but people take that advice and try to 2.0 you.
You feel me? Like, what?
Or 3.0
you gotta do
you.
something different.
You don't have.
You gotta do something different.
Yeah, it don't have your name written.
Yeah, you gotta bring value. Like you gotta bring value.
Value proposition.
You feel me?
Key terms, business. Terry.
Facts. Terry. Shout out Terry.
Shout out Terry College of Business.
Shout out Lions.
Entirely too much. Shout out Charles Lyons. That was my boy, my professor. Last question. If you had to wrap it up in one sentence, one piece of advice for my photographers and my videographers and my entrepreneurs out there in the world that's watching this, what would you tell them? What comes to mind? What's on your heart? If you could only put it in one sentence. Take your time.
One sentence. That's a good one. Damn, it's a little quiet, huh?
It's very quiet. I can go while you're thinking.
Yeah. I wanna. If you have a.
Something did come to mind. I genuinely think that mine is so much simpler than people make it be and less complex, and it's really just being who you are as a person. I truly do believe in life that if you're being who you are, things happen the way they're supposed to, and people say, but I wasn't who I am now, but that's why you are who you are now, because of the way that things happened when they did, and you realize that, you recognize that, you grew from that. So my advice is be passionate, because if you're competing, you love photography, you love being an artist, you love being creative.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
And if I do, I don't love it nearly as much as you do. So if they put us in a room together and tell us to compete, even if I try my hardest, I'm not going to be able to beat you every day, because that's something that you have a natural and burning passion for, rather than that's something that might feel like work all the time to me.
Yeah.
So I think that's mine.
Yeah.
But if you had to give,
I guess mine.
Yeah.
I think mine would be make time for the things that you want to do. Or make time for when you want to create or what you want to create. I think everybody always has a lot of things going on. Life is life. There's going to be a lot of things that pop up here and there. But I think at the root of everything is action. Right? You have to do. Like, you can have as many ideas as you want to, as many thoughts as you want to, as many vision boards as you can think of, as many agendas, planners, whatever. But things don't start happening until you actually take action. And I think that comes down to actually allocating and making time to do those things. Like people say, people make time for what they want to make time for.
Agreed.
If you want to create, if you want to do photography, if you want to do videography, if you want to do content creation, if you're not making time to actually do those things, if you're not allocating and being disciplined to actually set time aside to invest into that, then it's not going to come into fruition. So I think that would be my biggest thing is just if you want to do something, if you have some ideas, make time to do those and start taking action on that. Because again, like dreams are only, it's some type of quote that's like, dreams are only as good as the work. I'm sorry.
Dreams is only as good as the work.
Actually,
J.A.B Productions.
I'm just gonna. You can keep going. I'm about to let this up because I don't want to butcher it. But it's a good quote. Dreams are only.
It's not good, y'all. But that's pretty much it, man. While he's looking up that quote, I appreciate J.A.B Productions coming on here talking to me. Shout out to Free Game. Shout out to Chris Clements. Shout out myself out. It's crazy. I'm sorry. I had to laugh myself. That's just crazy. Shout out to Free Game. Shout out to Chris Clements. Shout out to J.A.B Productions. Really excited to review this clip, look at this clip, edit this clip, and go ahead and get this out for this upcoming Sunday. That way y'all will have that background story, background context while we're waiting. Me and Josh were actually supposed to do a podcast branding type of thing just like Free Game that a lot of people don't know because it never got out on social media.
Yeah.
Which was called Open Book, but Josh got all famous and big and decided to pursue his passion of photography senior year of college when we were thinking about it, and it took off. So I'm very proud of him, very happy for him, but passion and thoughts kept lingering around my mind still, even now he was doing his photography. So I'm really glad that Free Game came into fruition and
Facts.
that consistency. Did you?
So I didn't find the exact quote, but I do have one though. Stop dreaming. This is if you remember one thing, stop dreaming about your bucket list and start living it. That wasn't the exact quote that I was thinking of, but I think that goes back to the piece. But yeah, shout out Free Game. You always gonna get it real here. Stay tuned.
Appreciate that. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
And without further ado, who's out? Oh, you're supposed to say J.A.B. Well, let's try it again. Without further ado, my bad. We ain't rehearsed that. Without further ado, who's out?
J.A.B. Jab's out.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Paradox out, y'all.
All right, y'all.